Welcome, from the travelers. Reed Darkwell here with another video, and today we're going to be taking a look at a video from Salmonella Academy. Now, this is a channel that I know pretty well. I've seen a good number of their videos, um, and it was always probably on my list to eventually get to on this channel, but one of you did leave a comment suggesting this channel specifically, so that kind of expedited things, and we're doing it now. Uh, yeah, I just went to Sam's channel, and I just looked at some of the recent videos, and I just picked one that sounded kind of interesting to me, and the one I landed on was banned and controversial foods. Have not seen this one, but it sounds like an interesting topic, and I'm curious to learn about what kind of foods have been banned or faced some sort of controversy. Could could be pretty fun. So let's get started and see. Here we go. Playing now. Banned and controversial foods.
Hey Majors, so I'd like to start off with a little biology lesson. When a species finds itself living on an island, it can start to evolve in strange ways based on the different pressures applied by the new environment. This is called island syndrome, and while it can manifest in a lot of ways, the biggest driving force is often a lack of predators. For example, the dodo lost its ability to fly since there was nothing to flee from. The saint killed a field mouse got twice as big since it no longer had to hide. And with no one around to bully them, the Sardinians started putting maggots in their cheese. Literal translation,
I've heard about
rotten
this.
cheese. It's made by taking a perfectly good wheel of pecorino and letting a special type of fly lay eggs in it. The fly babies then work to partially digest the cheese, rendering it goopy and wet and maybe quite tasty and worm-filled. Now, cheese as a concept is already quite suspect. It's clotted milk that you fill with bacteria and mold and let sit for a while. But cheese is safe and delicious. Cheese is my friend. I trust cheese. So my guard would be down around Kazumartsu. I've learned to look past a cheese's childhood. Strange upbringings are what give them their character. But it turns out, those maggots are still alive. And if you don't chew well enough, they can cause enteric myiasis, which is a fancy term for fly larvae living in your intestines. Symptoms are similar to food poisoning, except with the added psychic pain of knowing that, again, your bowels are full of squiggly new friends. It's for this reason that Kazumartsu is banned in the EU and elsewhere. A black market still exists, which is wild, and it's not a small one. In 2019, the illicit Kazumartsu trade was estimated to be worth 2 to 3 million euros annually. Personally, I would just do it prohibition style, like definitely don't put these fly eggs on this sumptuous wheel of pecorino. But if you do, you absolutely shouldn't keep it warm and damp for a week. But although it's traditional to leave the larvae alive when you eat your mag and cheese, some consumers still prefer them dead, shockingly. In that case, one puts the cheese in a sealed bag, and when the maggots run out of oxygen, they writhe around and film themselves all over the place. This is heard as a distinct pitter-patter against the walls of the bag, and when the sound stops, the contents are ready to eat, like popcorn. Shark fin soup is one most of us have heard about already, mostly in reference to its effect on shark populations and the wastefulness that goes into making it. Until recently, though, I never looked into the nature of the dish itself. I figured, right, the fins are just the only part of the shark worth eating. Big whoop, it's probably not much different from, like, swordfish. Apparently, though, I had it backwards. Shark fins aren't even meat. They're made almost entirely of cartilage and collagen. They are the last part we should be eating. That's why it's only made into soup, because without being soaked in broth, it has zero flavor or nutritional value on its own. Their only redeeming quality is their unique mouthfeel due to how stringily the collagen grows, in structures called ceratotrichia. The texture has been described as somewhere between chewy and crunchy, which I find describes most things, actually. Other adjectives present on Wikipedia include snappy, gelatinous, and sinewy. The exact sensation of eating this substance remains a mystery to me, and the unintended side effect of all this research is that I now really want to try it. Like, it's a big trade. I've got to be the one that's wrong. There is imitation shark fin soup available, but I've already decided that it's not nearly as good. So I've come up with a compromise to this controversy. Everyone on Earth gets just one bite. Say there's 10 bites to a fin, 4 fins to a shark, 200 million sharks die, sure, a necessary casualty, but then we can end the practice forever. All done. You can finally rest, Mr. Ming. Come here, baby. Aw. Aki. What? Aki. Where? Ackee. The ackee is a fruit originally from West Africa, which is most commonly associated with Jamaican
Don't know anything
cuisine,
about this
where it
one.
appears in such dishes as ackee and saltfish. These alien kidneys here are called
They
the
look
arils,
weird.
and they're the only part of the fruit that's actually eaten. Their flavor is on the savory side, being described as kind of nutty or bean-like. What makes the
They
ackee
kinda look
controversial, though, is
nut-like.
the effects it can cause when prepared improperly. If the arils are
Oh.
allowed to completely ripen, they're harmless, but if you eat them too early, or don't thoroughly clean off all the non-aril stuff, they can cause Jamaican vomiting sickness. This disease
Wonderful.
doesn't sound real. It sounds like it belongs next to Eastern sweats and Tangerian bone grindings, but that's actually an official term, and as for symptoms, it does what it says on the tin. Plus maybe death. While ackee-based
Wow.
products aren't outright illegal in the United States, they are very tightly regulated, and the raw fruit itself cannot be imported. So if you're American and want to try it, your options are fully cooked canned ackee or going to Florida, where a few people grow it domestically. Next we have bird's nest soup. This is another one that I've vaguely
heard of this,
and for years I just assumed the name was a playful metaphor, like ants on a log
real.
or shit on a shingle. Turns out, nope, this dish contains an actual bird nest, not like a pile of twigs like I was picturing, but rather a specific type of nest only made by certain species of swiftlets. These nests are mostly made out of mucins, which are a set of proteins that, among other things, serve to thicken all those wonderful secretions our bodies make. There's a little bit in human saliva, a little bit more in mucus, and in swiftlet saliva, look out, pal. So all the swiftlet does is it finds a nice wall, starts laying out fat strings of slobber, which dry, and eventually she's got a nice place to roost. That is, right up until some gourmand says,
today I crave bird spit. You can keep the eggs though.
And they then reconstitute it back into its original gelatinous texture. Unfortunately, these nests can't enter the US since, believe it or not, eating bird saliva is a great way to catch bird flu. And now the time has come to speak of the ortolan. The ortolan is a kind of bunting, which is a sort of passerine, which is a type of bird.
Okay.
They're birds. Like many animals, they have a long history of being eaten by the French. But what separates the ortolan from your average squab or pheasant is the unique way in which it is prepared and eaten. They're typically caught with nets and kept in the dark, which causes them to overeat for some reason. Once it's about twice as fat, the entire bird is then thrown into a container of brandy, alive, and sealed in. While this serves to marinate the creature, it also drowns in the process, thereby killing one bird with no stones. The ortolan is then roasted, plucked, and presented whole to the consumer, who inserts the carcass into their mouth, feet first. As they chew, one hand continues holding the bird's head, while the other picks out the larger bones. This whole ritual is usually performed with a towel or large napkin over one's head. There's a few explanations for the purpose of the towel. Some say it's just there to keep the aromas in, while others say it's there to, quote, shield from God's eyes the shame of such a decadent and disgraceful act. Yeah, this one I'm okay with not trying, actually. Notable fans of this dish include, not joking, Bill Cosby and the guy who invented the lobotomy. I to be part of that social
I'm not
club.
surprised.
Our mission is to eat birds whole and then make people not remember things. Killing ortolans was banned across the EU in 2007.
They do have that
not
in
for
common.
any ethical reason,
Making people
but
not
because
remember
French
things.
people did this so much that the entire ortolan population was threatened. Thankfully, as of 2018, their conservation status is under least concern, so hopefully the French can get back to it soon. Anyway, that's all I have for today. Till next time, I'm Salmonella, and thank you for watching.
Okay, well that was crazy. I mean, I knew about most of it. I'll save that for another day. Another one I don't think I've seen, but
this video is sponsored by Skillshare.
No ad on that one. It was a pretty quick video, only 7 minutes. But yeah, that was that was entertaining. I mean, I did know about most of the foods he covered. I knew about the maggot cheese. I knew about the shark fin soup. I've heard of that. Did not know anything about ackee. And I knew about the bird's nest soup as well. And I didn't know anything about ortolan. So, yeah. Learned a couple things, I guess. And I guess I learned more about the other things as well. But, yeah, there's some people eating some crazy stuff out there. You do have to wonder sometimes. I don't know. So yeah, pretty gross, pretty crazy, but definitely a funny video and entertaining. And I just I love how Sam presents things. Like he just has a a wit about him that is always entertaining. So definitely, um, definitely will be returning to this channel. And I have seen a lot of them, so um, keep that in mind. That if you throw out a suggestion, might be something I've already seen. But if there are particular ones you do want me to watch, go ahead and suggest them anyway, and maybe you'll get lucky, and it's something that is still new to me. But yeah, hope you liked the reaction.